Okay, so welcome to today's webinar training, how to make 6 and 7 figures a year doing joint ventures. What I also want to do before we begin is please just put in the chat box and tell me where you guys are from. Just give me an indication of who's actually on the webinar today. There's so many of you guys on the webinar today. If you can just type in please into the chat box, just let me know where you guys are from. Wow, Sweden, okay. US, okay, America, Tampa. Suffolk, good old UK, oh, excellent. Melbourne, Australia, USA, Sydney, Canada, Belgium, uh, Dorset, London, Scotland, central of the world. Cool. Ireland, Dublin. Excellent. Okay, cool. So we've got a real good variety. Actually, we've got some from Malaysia here. That's pretty cool. So thank you guys again for coming onto this webinar. This is going to be a fantastic webinar. I've got some really cool things to share with you. Some really cool training to share with you guys. Some really cool training all about joint ventures, which is my speciality. So let's get started. Now, if you've got any questions for me, you're welcome to fire them during the training, but I'll take a Q&A at the end. So at the end, there will be a lengthy Q&A. And like I say, you can ask me any questions you want about joint ventures. So let's get started. First of all, a bit about myself. There's always new people on my webinar trainings, which is great, and great to have you guys here. Great to have the guys who do come onto my regular webinars, and thank you for taking the time out today. So first of all, just a brief introduction to myself. Who is Sohail Khan? Now, if anyone out there knows of a guy called Jay Abraham, one of my mentors, who originally got me into joint ventures and taught me about how to do joint ventures, one of his partners, Mark Goldman, quoted me as a true rags to riches success story, just like Andrew Carnegie. A guy called Jeff Mills, very well known in the internet marketing space, gave me the name the Master Connector, and I'll talk more about that, why he gave me the name the Master Connector. I've achieved over $16 million using joint ventures, and I'll go through that today step by step with a couple of case studies showing you exactly how I've done that. I'm also an international speaker, charging $5,000 a keynote speech. This is something that I do quite a lot of. If anyone's ever seen me speaking around the world. Someone's just mentioned about my internet going in and out. I do realize that I'm not on a great connection, so I'll try my best to fill the gaps in between. There will be a recording of this webinar as well, so hopefully we'll get the recording in for you as well, just in case you miss anything. Thanks for that. So, moving on. I'm the only Brit ever to be invited to speak about joint ventures in the US and the Middle East, which is really cool. I am one of the prominent joint venture experts in the world and always get invited to speak at major events, which is quite cool. I'm also the author of Guerrilla Marketing and Joint Ventures, with actually the late J. Conrad Levinson, the father of guerrilla marketing, who was one of my mentors and one of my great friends, and I'll talk more about that. I'm also the founder of mybrokerinbusiness.com, which is one of my main businesses, training and consulting in the area of joint ventures and joint venture brokering. Okay, so that's enough about me. What will I be covering today? So here's a list of what I'll be covering today in this webinar training. We'll be looking at the real power of joint ventures. We'll be looking at the art of brokering joint ventures. I'll cover how to find targeted joint venture partners. Also, I'll be covering how to actually contact those joint venture partners and make a connection with those joint venture partners. We'll also discuss why businesses need joint ventures. We'll also discuss why businesses need joint ventures. And I'll also talk about the 7 best types of joint ventures that you can get up and running, started straight away as soon as you get off this webinar. We'll also talk about my favorite topic, using social media to connect and build relationships for joint ventures. And I'll talk more about my 6 and 7 figure joint venture solution at the end of the webinar training. Another thing make sure you stay till the end for your bonus. There is a bonus. I'll be giving away my free joint venture PDF checklist to everyone who stays right to the end of this webinar, and I'll print off a report for the webinar, so I'll know who stayed till the end, and you'll all get a copy of my joint venture PDF checklist, which I really just give to my students on my high-level joint venture brokering business program. So you'll get a copy of that. I don't normally give it out at all, but for attending today's webinar, and as a thank you, you'll get a copy of that. So let's look at the what I believe is the world's most powerful business strategy. Basically, what is a joint venture? First of all, a joint venture is an arrangement of mutual benefit, okay, between two or more people or businesses who have complementary resources. Now, every time I speak about this, whether it's at a conference or whether it's at a training event, the way I explain it is, let's say, for example, you have a luxury bathroom tile manufacturer and a luxury bathroom suite manufacturer. Now, both of these guys, okay, have complementary resources, as in they share the same customer base. But the problem we have is most companies will not joint venture with each other because they see each other as competition. Okay, and that's where someone like myself comes in as a joint venture broker or a joint venture consultant and puts these two companies together. So basically they benefit and also I do, and I'll talk more about how you can make money doing joint ventures this way, and I'll give you a few case studies of how you can replicate that. Okay, let's look at what I believe is a business's most valuable asset. Now, what I would like to do right now for those people on the call is I'd like you guys to type in basically what you believe is a business's most valuable asset. Now, what I'd like you to do basically right now is just type in for me what you believe is a business's most valuable asset. Okay, people, good, contacts, database, customer base, the employees. Now, this is interesting because, you know, you may have heard the term, okay, the money is in the list. Now, the money is not necessarily in the list. The money is in the relationship you have with the list. So a business's most valuable asset basically is the relationship between the business owner and the customer. This is the most valuable asset. This is the most valuable asset that can be leveraged. Okay, so it's always about relationships, and this is something that I teach a lot about. And the relationship that a business owner has with the customers is the most valuable asset that can be leveraged. Okay. So here's an example. When a business is sold, this asset is valued on its balance sheet. And not only that, here's some statistics and some figures, okay? Now, we all know we spend money on lead generation, okay? Like whether it's pay-per-click or whether it's lead generation ads in newspapers or magazines. Now, it costs 6 times as much to sell to a new buyer, okay? Now, once you've acquired that buyer, if you sell to them again, it's pure profit. Okay, so selling to the same customer again is pure profit. But here's the thing, it costs you nothing if you're using somebody else's list or somebody else's database, okay? If you're using somebody else's list or database and they're actually promoting to their database or customer list, it's costing you 0, okay, to acquire that buyer or that customer. And more of the profit is yours because there's now no advertising costs. So this is the power of doing joint ventures, okay? And this is the power that you can actually do. And this is something that we do. You know, we have people who approach us, customers, clients, and this is what we do. We leverage their databases, we leverage their relationships, assets, and their lists. Okay, so this is something that you can do in your own business or go out and do with other businesses. Now let's look at the benefits of using or doing joint ventures. First of all, it allows you to compensate weak areas in your business without any nominal investment. Now, you heard of the term catch-22. Most businesses say, you know what, Sohail, we can't do that because we can't grow, because we can't afford to advertise and market. We can't afford to take on more people, so we can't afford to grow, so we are stuck. Well, not necessarily. If you're using joint ventures, you can actually utilize somebody else's resources to be able to do that. You can also You could also utilize somebody else's assets. For example, if you haven't got the investment in a call center, you can't make that investment. You can use somebody else's call center that's being underutilized. And actually, one thing that we did do with a client is we had a client who operated on a West Coast time, meaning their call center was actually not being used on the East Coast time. So we got our East Coast client to do a joint venture with this company and actually use their facilities while they weren't being used. And that's underutilization of an asset, which you can easily leverage. It also allows you to take advantage of unlimited skills and resources. Once you've done one joint venture and it works, guess what? Do it again and again and again with different joint venture partners. It also allows you to boost your lead generation and profits very quickly. And I'm going to take you through a few case studies of how we've done that. How you can actually generate leads for free using joint ventures. It also allows you great branding potential for free. And I'll talk more about that, how you can lift your profile and even become a key influencer by doing joint ventures with key influencers. And the classic one, it allows you to make money out of thin air. This is something that people always talk about, and I'm going to sort of prove it to you today and show you exactly how that's possible. Okay, let's look at the benefits of being a joint venture broker. Now, as a joint venture broker, I make lots of money by simply being a middleman. Okay, I don't need to spend years building a customer list or even creating my own products. I don't even need to keep track of sales, chase people for money owed or fulfill product orders. I've run a business before with at least over 25 staff, and now I go out and do business as a joint venture broker or a joint venture consultant, and I don't need to worry about any of that because the joint venture partners and my clients all handle that. I just step in, leverage the resources that are available to me, and make huge profits by just bringing people together. And I'm going to show you today, step by step, how you can do that yourself. Now, something I want to share with you today is my story and how I came to be one of the most top joint venture experts in the world. And I think it's very important to share this story with you. For those of you who have seen this story before, it's always amazing because we always find new things when we watch it again and again. For those of you going through this the first time, I want to share my story with you so you know exactly where I've come from and how powerful joint ventures are and how powerful they are, and this is why you should be doing them. Okay, so this is me in 2006. I built an 8-figure business using just joint ventures, and it was amazing. You know, I got everything I ever wanted out of life. You know, I had that shiny red Ferrari that I dreamed of when I was a kid. I lived in a beautiful Georgian mansion. And life was great. You know, life was absolutely great. I had achieved all the successes in my life, built an 8-figure business, and it was great. That was 2006. Then in 2008, I lost everything and was totally broke. The recession basically wiped me out totally. And it was a very, very hard time for me. I ended up going from being a multi-millionaire to totally broke. And then in 2009, I set myself a challenge to make $1 million in 12 months and actually completed a 7-figure JV deal in 30 days. And I'm going to take you through that step by step, exactly how I did that and how you guys can actually replicate that, okay? It's such a simple joint venture deal I did, and it basically it helped me come back out on top. So what I want to do right now, I just want to go through that my story and actually show you exactly where I've come from, how I've used the power of joint ventures to become very successful, and how other people around me have done the same thing. So let's begin. Let's start from where I was. I originally trained as an accountant, and while working at one of the big accountancy firms in London, I spent most of my time helping people how to use the computers and the internet. Now, back in 1996, 97, the internet was in its infancy, and this new thing called the internet had come by. And I remember I was only there for a couple of months in this new job, and my supervisor said to me that, Sohail, look, you're really good with computers and the internet. Have you considered doing something with computers? So I left that job because I thought to myself, you know, there must be more to what I'm doing right now, okay? And I left that job and I studied a master's in information technology. And while studying for my master's, I wrote a thesis on the impact of the internet on the manufacturing industry. And little known to me, my professor actually posted my thesis online. Now, if you remember back in sort of 96, 97, before Google was launched in 98, there were things called bulletin boards. And then my professor posted my thesis onto these bulletin boards, and I started getting phone calls from venture capital firms, .com companies, and asking me about my thesis. And look, you know about this thing called the internet. Can you come out and talk to us about how we can use this in our business? So straight out of finishing my master's, I was consulting with some of the big companies, some of the biggest .com companies, and one of my first clients was, if probably you know, a company called QVC. And it was quite phenomenal. You know, I spent the good part of 2 years consulting with some of the big .com companies and sitting on the board with venture capital firms, advising them how to use the internet. So I was pretty much like an internet consultant. And then basically, if you remember what happened in the year 2000, you know, the .com bubble burst, and we also had Y2K. I lost the majority of my clients that I was working with, who were paying me between $25,000 and $40,000 a year for marketing campaigns, internet marketing campaigns. And while basically one of the things we did while working with the clients is we actually went out and proved to them that we could actually make money using the internet. And one thing we did was we set up a one-page website with downloadable PDF courses, and that was a very basic e-commerce site. And actually, we made money from day one with that site. We were making between sort of $5,000 and $7,000 a month with the site, and we would use that site as a showcase. Now, when the dot-com bubble burst in 2000, and we lost the majority of our clients, we had to decide what to do now. So, a lesson to be learned if you're running a business. When the economy turns, or if there is a disruption in your industry, then you've got to look at really trying to reinvent yourself, okay, or looking at the current assets that you have that can be leveraged. Now, we had this small computer training website making money, so we decided to concentrate on building this business and thought, you know what, we can't be internet consultants anymore because of Y2K. A lot of people blamed the internet consultants for Y2K, so we decided to concentrate and build this business that we had. So early 2000, I came across a book, and you might want to write this down. It's a book called How to Get Everything You Can Out of All You've Got, by a guy called J. Abraham. And really, I should get paid royalties for that, because I'm always recommending that book every time. Every time I have a presentation or webinar or seminar, I'm always recommending his book. So I must speak to Jay about that. And this book was phenomenal. This book actually was the one book that really opened my eyes out to the power of joint ventures and strategic alliances. Now, Jay spoke in the book about strategic alliances is that you could literally approach a company, get them to promote your products or services for free, pay nothing up front, and basically get them to make the sales for you. So I was fascinated by this, that you're telling me that other companies will actually do all the marketing and advertising for me and help me sell my product. And what I decided to do was to put this into action. So mid-2000, I approached the largest IT recruitment consultancy in Europe. Now remember, at that time there was a downward trend in the technology industry. So when there's a downward trend in any sort of economy, or industry, there are more opportunities. Okay, so always remember that. So I basically contacted them. All I said was, look, if I can help you create an additional revenue profit stream without increasing your overheads, would you be interested? They said yes. So I got invited to go and meet this company. It was in Regent Street, their head office. And sitting there was 3 or 4 directors. And the first question they asked me was, Sohail, okay, look, tell us then, how are you going to increase our revenue and profits without increasing our overheads? How are you going to do that? And I said, look, it's simple. It's called a joint venture. And then I proceeded to ask them, okay, look, how many people do you have in your database? And they said, we have about 150 IT professionals. And I said, look, right now, your only source of revenue and income is jobs, recruitment jobs. And there aren't any jobs right now in the industry. So I said, look, we have these computer training courses that do really well and sell really well. And, you know, we had the figures. We basically had the figures and the conversion rate, so we knew our figures. That's one thing you really need to know. When you're going into a joint venture deal or you're dealing with joint venture partners, you've got to make sure you have your figures down. And I said, look, if you endorse our computer training courses to your list of IT professionals, we'll give you a percentage for everyone you sell. So they agreed, and we did the deal. And also at the same time, we also said to them that we'll do all the tracking using an affiliate program, and you can log in and see how many sales are coming through or how many people are clicking on the link and ordering. And that was phenomenal. That was the first joint venture deal I ever did. And that joint venture, let me tell you, in our first year with this small computer training website, we did close to, I think, about $70,000-$80,000. Now, in our second year with just one joint venture, we did just under, well, round about $320,000 we did with this one joint venture. So it's pretty phenomenal how you can actually do a joint venture with a company. How you can do a joint venture with a company and actually get the company to promote for you, promote the actual, your product or service, actually an endorsement. They endorsed it for us, and it was pretty phenomenal. So that got me hooked, and I was like, wow, you know what, I want to be doing more. I want to do more of these joint ventures. So so that was 2000. Now 2002, the whole industry changed, and we were selling PDF courses, computer training courses, and a lot of our competitors had started developing video-based training. So we went out there and had a look, we really want to be selling into corporate companies training, but they're not going to buy PDF training. They want this video-based stuff. So we had a look around, and I did some costings, and it was costing us $10,000 per hour of e-learning or video-based training. So to compete with our customers, our competitors, they had over 100 titles. It would have cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars to create these video training courses. So I thought, look, we can't afford to do that. We need another avenue. So I went back to the book, and Jay spoke about something called licensing. Now, licensing is huge, okay? I'm going to tell you a few case studies and some of the things that I'm working on right now and some of the things that I've done on licensing deals. So I went out and found a company in America, in Clearwater, actually, a very successful computer training software company, doing over $25 million turnover. And I contacted them and I said, look, we'd like to supply your training in UK and Europe exclusively, and also we'd like it white labeled. Now, white labeled is very similar to private label rights. We'd like it with our logos and our brand on. The company said, yeah, sure, we can do that. It's going to cost you $100,000. So I thought, oh, you know, we don't really want to be spending $100,000 to get this license. There must be a way that we can get it without it. There must be a way we can get it without it. Now, must be a way we can get it without it. So I thought to myself, look, if we can basically get hold of this, it would be great for us. So I decided basically to jump on a plane. I flew over to Clearwater, Florida, actually armed with $10,000. And I sat with the company, and I actually got to the office in Florida, and it was interesting. I was sitting in the office of this of the CEO, who was a female CEO, and she basically had a beautiful bookshelf in the office and a beautiful desk. In the bookshelf, she had lots of books that I recognized, a lot of marketing books. Now, one of the books that really, really surprised me really surprised me was she had the book by J. Abraham. Okay, getting everything you can out of all you've got. And I was like, wow, she has this book, so she must understand how joint ventures work. So I waited for her to come into the office. I waited for her to come into the office and sat with her and had a conversation. I said, look, here's the thing. If you allow us to have a license for your training, I guarantee you I'll make you more than $100,000 within the next couple of months. But what I'd like to do is show you my commitment of giving a minimum commitment order of $10,000 right now. So we did a deal, we closed on the deal, and I flew back to the UK, now armed with over 150 titles, okay, that we basically cost me $10,000. And in that same year, we did 7 figures. We hit £1 million turnover in that year. And what was the investment? $10,000. Okay, so that shows you the leverage of sort of doing joint ventures and licensing, how powerful it is, and how you can actually grow your business by doing that. So that was 2002. Now, coming on to this slide now, which you're seeing, which is 2006. In 2006, I came across a company while reading the Sunday Times, a company that had over 500,000 customers. Company that had over 500,000 customers, okay, and was worth $160 million. This was a huge computer group. Their database was people who bought hardware and software, and we supplied computer training, so it was a perfect match. And I thought, wow, if I could do a joint venture with this company, it would be great. So I did the same thing I always do. I contacted them and I said, look, if I can create an additional revenue profit stream for you without increasing your overheads, would you be interested? They said yes. So I got to meet this company, and the company was based, actually they had a beautiful office, a glass office with a beautiful conference room where I got to. So it was pretty interesting. Oh, people are saying about the slide. The slide is as it is because I'm talking about my story leading up to 2006. So the slide is there's no problems with the slide. This is the actual slide. Now we're talking about 2006. So in 2006, I got a meeting with this company. Now, the company was run by a father and son, chairman and CEO, and I got a meeting to the company, and it was pretty phenomenal. I got into the room, ready to do my JV pitch, sat there for 10 minutes, started my JV pitch, and then all of a sudden, the CEO, who is the chairman's son, got up and said, Sohail, we're not really interested in doing a joint venture with you. I was like, wow, okay. So I came all the way down here. Either they don't like me, or they don't like my pitch, or they don't like my idea. So as I was getting ready to leave, the CEO, who was the father, actually got up and said, Sohail, we're actually not interested in doing a joint venture with you. We're interested in actually buying your business. So I was like, wow, I was blown away. Now, at that time, I had 2 more partners, so I couldn't make a decision on the day. And you're going to hear my full story, and I wish I made a different decision. So I went back, had a conversation with my 2 partners, and we decided basically to sell. We decided to sell a majority stake to the $160 million group. It was a part cash and part equity deal. Reason being is they were consumer driven. We were corporate driven. So they wanted to basically buy our business to bolt it onto their consumer business. Okay. So 2006, the deal was done. We had a part cash, part equity deal. I had equity stake in a $160 million IT group. It was phenomenal. We cashed out. The business was now worth just over $10 million. And it was amazing. Life was sweet. We had everything we ever wanted to, and it was amazing. And a year later, I doubled the business because now I wasn't working in the business. I was working on the business. And that's a term you might have heard before. And I was getting ready to cash out. 2007, 2008 was my cash out. I was going to cash out my shares, leave the business, and go and live on some desert island somewhere. Hopefully had an island that would hopefully have Wi-Fi. So that was it. I had my plan in place. 2008, I was going to cash out and just retire for a bit and take life easy. But that wasn't going to happen, because who remembers what happened in 2008? Now, 2008, we had the dreaded recession. And this company that basically had been around for 25 years, that now owned a majority stake in my business, went bust. So the company went bust. They left a lot of debts behind, actually millions in debt. So we as directors, because we signed securities with the bank, we basically ended up losing everything, and I lost everything. The bank came after me. I ended up liquidating my assets, and overnight I went from being a multi-millionaire to totally broke. It was absolutely devastating, and it was a hard time for me. And I do understand now when some people, when they're not necessarily when they risk it all, but when things happen and they end up losing everything. I do definitely understand that. And for me, it was quite phenomenal. I ended up losing everything, and I lost the house I lived in, the beautiful house, all the cars, and I went from being a multi-millionaire to totally broke. Unfortunate for me, my old bedroom in my mum's house was still there. So guess what? I moved back home, okay, to my mum's house. And it's funny because when I talk about this on stage, I have to laugh sometimes because my mum, she left that room exactly like it was when I left many years ago, hoping that I would come back home. So it's quite funny. So there I was, back home again, broke, and it was a very 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 upsetting time, very depressing time, because when you have all these I had a lot of friends actually in the area who had stayed in their jobs, and now they were very successful and they had their own cars, houses, and the only thing that they would tell me was, you should have stayed in your job as an accountant. And I was like, okay. So that wasn't very, very good. I didn't really appreciate that, but it was hard for me. So I said to my mum, look, I'm going to go crazy if I don't get out of here. So I decided to go, and just disappear for a bit and figure out and put my head together. So I went on a little sort of spiritual journey. But 2 weeks into my spiritual journey, I realized that, once an entrepreneur, always an entrepreneur. And I basically came back, ready for my next challenge. So I came back, and I still remember that day. My mother said to me, look, what are you going to do now in your life? And I said, look, when you're at the bottom, right down near the floor, there's only one way you can go, and that's up. And, it was quite phenomenal. My mum always said one thing to me which really stuck with me. She said, look, everything you have is in your head. You might not have the bank balance, the bank account, the houses, the cars, but she goes, your success is still there. It's in your head. It's your mindset. That's what will get you to be successful again. So I set myself a challenge then, 2009. I set myself a challenge in 2009 to make $1 million in 12 months. I thought, you know what, I'll do a couple of joint ventures, something that I really know about and I know how to do, and I'll get back on my feet. And then in 2009, basically, I ended up doing just one joint venture deal, which I completed in 30 days. And it's something that I want to tell you right now and just show you step by step how I did that and how it's possible to do that with joint ventures, and how powerful joint ventures really are. So here's how I did that, okay? I was reading a Sunday newspaper here we have in the UK, and I came across a one-page ad for a book called How to Use Your PC in 2 hours. Now, it wasn't the book that was the most interesting thing. At the bottom of the page, it said over 400,000 copies sold. So I thought to myself, wow, this is interesting. This book sold over 400,000 copies. Obviously, I thought to myself, they have a customer database, right? So I contacted the company and said, I contacted the company and I said, look, do you have a video version of this book? Because, my uncle, he's more a visual person, and he'd prefer a video version. They said no. I said, look, I have a video version of this book, a computer training course. Would you be interested in supplying that to your existing customers? They said yes. They said, look, get the video course out to us. Let us have a look at it, and if it fits and matches, yeah, we'd definitely be interested. So here's the thing. I actually pitched the idea, but I never had the product, okay? So one thing I'm going to teach you today about the power of joint ventures is it's all about the distribution, okay? If you can control the distribution, you control the money, which means that if you can control someone else's database or someone else's asset, not necessarily own it, but control it to be able to do things with it, that's where the money is. The money is not in going out there and creating products or finding products. The money is in finding people who have an asset that you can control and leverage and make money from. Okay, so that's pretty much the secret of joint ventures. So if there's one thing that you could walk away with today from this webinar, that would be the main secret. So, I convinced them that, I need to come out and see you guys, and, as long as showing you the video, I want to talk about other things that, we can do. So I got a meeting with this company, direct mail company, very successful, just over £20 million turnover company. And I got to the meeting and I met with the CEO. The CEO said to me, Sohail, thanks for coming. Do you have this DVD? And obviously I didn't have the DVD. So I had to make an excuse and say, well, I left the DVD at home. I was in such a hurry. CEO looked at me and thought, this guy, is he for real? And he said, look, here's the thing. We are interested. If you can get it to me within the next sort of 3 to 5 days, I would really, really be interested. So I thought, wow, okay, these guys really want to do a deal. And I left that meeting thinking, I now have to go and find this product, okay? I've got a slight acceptance that they would want to promote it. So I got an acceptance from them that want to promote it, right? So I've got access to this list of 400,000 customers. Now I need to go and find the product. So I went out there to Staples and Office World looking for a product similar to the one that I described. And I came across a couple of products, but when I called the companies, they were very reluctant to give me a good deal or even do like a white label. So after a couple of days, I got fed up and I thought, you know what, I've got to find an alternative. So I went onto a website called elance.com. You might want to write this down, elance.com. And on elance.com, you can find a lot of freelancers, okay, a lot of professional freelancers who will actually do projects for you. So I put a copy of the book up and I said, can someone create a video for me, a video course based on these chapters? And people started bidding on the project, and I ended up paying $500 for the product. And I owned the rights to it. So I went back to the company. I said, look, here's the DVD. Have a look at it. They loved it. It was just like the book. The CEO said, wow. The CEO said, wow, this is amazing. It's just like the book. It's a video course. And I was like, well, me and my team have been up all week doing it. But obviously, as you know, it was outsourced. So the CEO sat there and said, look, we'd like to do some other courses. I said, look, do this one first, and let's see how it goes. If it's successful, then we'll create some more. So I began to ask him that, look, out of the 400,000 customers, how many of them do you think will buy this upsell to the DVD? He said, look, at least half of them should buy it within the next 12 to 18 months. So that's 200,000 customers, okay? Then we started to work out my commission. Now, normally they work like QVC on a points basis, but I said, look, forget about the percentages. How much do you want to sell it for? And they said, well, we'll probably sell it for, let's say, about $25. And I said, look, if you're going to sell it for $25, give me $7.50 each one that you sell. I'll give you the DVD and a license. You can go out and duplicate it, promote it, sell it, package it, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want, and I'll just take $7.50 for each unit that you sell. So it was really interesting. I sat there writing out the agreement. In my joint venture agreement, it stated I would get access to these 400,000 customers. The CEO stopped me and said, look, this is really cool. If this works, I'd like to roll this out to a whole customer database. And I said to him, hang on a minute, how big is your customer database? He said 4.2 million customers. So when you hear me talk about how I went from 0 to 4 million customers, that is exactly how I went from 0 to 4 million customers in 30 days by acquiring access to another company's database of 4.2 million customers. Now, we did that deal and it was very successful, and it took us 18 months and we sold just over 201,000 units, and I collected just over 1.5 million with that deal. So it gives you an example of how powerful joint ventures are, and as a broker or a consultant, you can actually go and do these deals. Now let's just look over that and let's just go through that right now. So the $1 million joint venture in 30 days. I found a list of 400,000 buyers and contacted the company with a JV proposal, okay, without the product. I ended up using elance.com to create a complimentary product for just $500. I introduced and licensed the product to the list owner, making $7.50 per unit sold without handling any fulfillment. So with a total of 201,000 units, which is what we did over 18 months, I collected just over 1.5 million as my JV commission. Okay, so that's the example, classic example of how you can do a seven-figure joint venture pretty easily. Now, a lot of people say to me, look, you know, I do a lot of offline joint ventures. That's my speciality, but I have been involved in online JVs and online launches as well. Not really my thing, but I have been known to be behind some of the scenes. Now, here is an example of a seven-figure launch that I made happen behind the scenes as the joint venture broker. Now, not a lot of people know this, but I was involved in this launch. A guy called Chris Farrell approached me and said, Sohail, you're very well connected. You know a lot of people. Can you put me together with this guy? It was Mike Fulsame. Both these guys are very good friends of mine. And we ended up launching affiliate.com, which did just over $4 million with that joint venture. So this is a classic example of an online joint venture of how I also broker and bring people together to actually launch projects. Now, doing joint ventures is very lucrative. Okay, let me tell you how lucrative doing joint ventures and why you should build your joint venture skills. I was recently paid $30,000 for one-day JV consulting for a client in New York. Now, the client found me on LinkedIn and basically flew me to New York for one day's consulting. It was a financial services firm, and basically they were paying between sort of 5 and 6 figures. They were paying between 5 and 6 figures a month for pay-per-click advertising. They wanted to reduce that by doing joint ventures and generate leads for free. And that's what I was brought out there for. And it was phenomenal. They paid for me to fly out to New York. They even put me up in this beautiful Mandarin Oriental hotel overlooking Central Park. It was pretty phenomenal. So, you know, it's and it's funny because I just got off the phone today with someone who found me on LinkedIn again, actually from New York. So New York seems to be a real cool place for finding clients. So yes, you know, you can be very successful doing joint ventures, and if you really become good at it, it's very lucrative. Also, you know, learning about joint ventures will allow you to connect with key influencers and gurus, as to speak. Now, one of the things I always do is I'm always connecting and building relationships with very well-known people. And, you know, I'm really happy to say that I've got my first published joint venture book coming out next year in 2014 with the late J. Conrad Levinson. Now, J. Conrad actually passed away not too long ago, and we just finalized our book and finished it before he passed away. So it'll probably be the last guerrilla marketing book ever. And that'll be due to be published early 2014. I'm really looking forward to that, and this book's going to be phenomenal. So, you know, it really help you know, bring me in touch with more people, help more people, and also be really great for my team of joint venture brokers that I've trained around the world. And hey, you know, even Tim Ferriss uses joint ventures. Have you heard of Tim Ferriss, the guy who wrote the 4-Hour Work Week? Now, let me tell you, the 4-Hour Work Week was successful because he approached some of the largest blog sites on the internet to review and promote his book. And the 4-Hour Work Week became a #1 bestseller through joint ventures. See, not a lot of people know that, but he launched that book through joint ventures and and other people actually did the launch, helped him with this launch, and it became a bestseller. Okay, let's look at the joint venture mindset. Now we're going to do some training now on joint ventures. Now, before you actually start doing joint ventures, you have to have the right mindset, because if you don't have the right mindset or the right success mindset, then you're definitely going to fail. Okay. Now, I use visualization is something that I use a lot of to get the outcomes that I want in life. Now, I just want to, if you guys can, put in the chat box and tell me, has anyone used visualization before? Give me give me a yes or a no. I really like to know, because there's quite a lot of you on the program, on the training today, and I really want to know more about you guys. You know, what are you doing? You know, how are you? Because all of you obviously run businesses, so yes. No, never used visualization before. Yes, I use visualization daily. Okay, brilliant. That's really great. Yeah, it's powerful. Isn't it powerful? I mean, this is something that I use a lot of. And when you do joint ventures and you're going out there connecting with people, visualization is very important. Because if you want to attract the energy of opportunity and success, you should always use affirmations. Now, for example, you can do this if you want. I normally do this when I'm on stage. If you want to, repeat after me, I am the right person in the right place at the right time, doing the right things with the right people. That's a very, very strong affirmation that, I love doing that when I'm on stage. Also, another one that you can do is I'm aware of and open to unlimited joint venture opportunities. I'm involved in the best high-level joint venture opportunities. Now, here is a tip. Doing affirmations is great, but affirmations without action is rubbish. A lot of people do affirmations. I've been to loads of events, and they do this sort of personal development thing. But hey, look, as long as you're taking the action, and the affirmations are allowing you to do that and giving you the strength and the confidence to do that, then that's great. Okay, that's what you need to be doing. Now, like I say, always see yourself as someone adding value to others. Okay. It's a great saying that Zig Ziglar said, was that if you help as many people as you can get what they want, ultimately you'll get what you want. Okay, so this is how powerful this mindset is. Okay, so let's do some training, and this is what you guys are here for, right? So first of all, finding potential joint venture partners. Now, one of the best places to go to find potential joint venture partners is either an existing mailing list, a customer list, or a newsletter. Okay. This, for me, has always been one of the best places to start, because here's the thing. Customers, they've already done business with the list owner, and there's a trusted relationship that can be leveraged, okay? So here are some of the sites you can use, and you might want to write this down. If you're in the UK, is a company called Highlight DMS, run by a very, very good friend of mine, based in the UK. And if you're based in US and Canada, use mediafinder.com. And here's another one, okay, is a website called new-list.com. If you're looking for newsletter owners or newsletters, for example, then try new-list.com. It's a real great site. So here's an example of how the list brokers work, and I'll show you a way how you can get access to these lists for free, okay? How many of you guys would like to know how to get access to these lists for free without paying for them? Just give me a yes in the chat box, and then I will show you exactly how to do that. Now, here, for example, brilliant. Okay, yes, yes, please. I would love that. Yes, yes. I've spent a lot of money on lists. I would love to know how to get them for free. Okay, I'll show you how to do that using the power of joint ventures. So here's an example of a mailing list broker. You do a search for, let's say, health, and it'll bring up a, this is what is a master file of a company that has over 892,000 buyers on their list, okay? And you can see there, look, the base price is £120, $150 per buyer, okay? And they've got 800,000 buyers on there. $150 per 1,000. That's how it works. So basically, it's $150 per 1,000 buyers, okay, in terms of list-wise. And there's their website as well. Most of them have a website on there as well. And I'm going to show you basically how you can get hold of this list for free, okay? All right, so stay on here, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. Okay, so we'll come back to that, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. So the next place you can go to find potential joint venture partners is seminars and paid events. This is great because you know what? I have found some of my best clients and some of my best joint venture partners going to paid events. Free events, I've stopped going to free events because it's just useless for networking. You don't find the right people there, and if someone invests in an event, there's accountability there, and also there's something called skin in the game, okay? When people invest, they're investing their time, and they're really serious. So it's a great place to network and meet highly motivated people. And look, here's the thing, guys. The higher the price of the seminar or the event, the more players you'll meet, okay? Now, when you go to a seminar or a paid event, always ask the right questions. First of all, a good icebreaker question to ask would be, look, hi Kevin, how did you get started as a, whatever they are, whatever they do? That's a great icebreaker question because people like people who are interested in them, okay? And you've heard the term, people do business with people they like. Well, that is very, very true. A second question you can ask them is, look, hi Kevin, look, Kevin, thank you very much for that. So how can I help you, Kevin? How can I help you sell more of your product or service? Okay, so those are the two questions really you need to be asking. Don't ever go into an event or a networking event just looking out for yourself. You know, if you can help a lot of other people, then I guarantee you that you'll build trust with them, and they'll definitely come back and they'll want to work with you or even give you referrals. Okay, it's pretty cool. Okay, social network sites, a great place to find potential joint venture partners. I use this a lot. Most of you who know me know that I'm pretty much a social media ninja. So, you know, when it comes to using social media, I'm the social media ninja. So, you know, social network sites are great. Collaborate with other professionals directly with key people of influence and the network connections. Now, look, the great thing about social media, right, is that you can actually, you know, get in touch with their connections. So you can connect with other people's connections. If you can't get a hold or can't get through a person directly, you can get through their connections, okay, to get to that person. So that's how powerful social media is. So it's not really always a waste of time. Some of the sites everyone uses: LinkedIn with 100 million plus members, Twitter.com, and obviously the one with the biggest users is Facebook. And I'm going to show you a few techniques and strategies that I use. So you want to know how to connect using Facebook, right? Here's what you do. I use Facebook to connect with people who are key influencers in my industry. This is how I build my contacts. First of all, I promote them and I recommend them. So, you know, if they're doing if they put out a really cool post, I'll basically like it, or I'll talk about it, or I'll promote it to someone else, and I'll basically recommend them. And I'll keep doing this until they reciprocate. So when someone comes back to you and says, oh, thank you very much for that, sometimes I even give them something of value, like one of my joint venture manuals. I'll give it to them and wait for them to come back. And when they say, thank you very much for that, then it's great. You know, when they come back and say, look, thank you for that, what can I do for you? When someone says, what can I do for you, that's when you've got them. And then, you know, you want to start a dialogue with them and move them across to Skype, have a conversation with them, and then basically just do a JV with them. Now, Facebook's cool. I mean, Facebook and LinkedIn, they count for more than 75% of my business and provide me with all the deals and all the business that I can get. And it doesn't cost me anything. I'm not paying for it. It's just the great thing about it. Okay, so here's an example of how you can use joint ventures using social media. So I did a webinar. Actually, one of my, it's really funny. One of my competitors did a webinar. One of my competitors, not competitors, actually someone else I knew, she did a webinar on joint ventures and managed to get, 3,000 people invited to the webinar. I did the same webinar on joint ventures, and I got just under 11,000 people invited to it, to this Facebook event on event page. And how did I do that? Via joint ventures. I reached out to joint venture partners and got them to promote for me. So that's how powerful joint ventures are. That's how you can actually use it using social media as well. Okay, so now let's look at finding potential joint venture partners. Okay. First of all, Google. Google's a great place to go and find partners. It's an amazing resource for finding joint venture partners. And you know, one thing is as well, the people who pay for the AdWords, they're great joint venture partners because they have made an investment in doing advertising. So you can do joint ventures with them, and they'll be basically more or less up for doing joint ventures. They understand joint ventures, and they'll be looking at doing joint ventures with you. So some of the sites again: google.co.uk and google.com. Now, when you're contacting potential joint venture partners, the basic and the easiest one to do is email and online. So the thing is, email is practical, easy, and cheap, and it's a good way to communicate with potential partners, but only when you're dealing with them already. Now, if you have a relationship already with joint venture partners, don't use email, okay, because it gets lost. Not only that, most of people receive lots of junk mail and don't always read proposals unless you have a really good subject line, okay? So it shouldn't be your only mode of contact. This is the best one that I recommend you use, FedEx or special delivery. is now the best way to contact potential joint venture partners. It's professional, it really gets used, and you know what? It gets you past the first barrier, and it always gets opened, and it helps you get past the gatekeeper. Now here's the thing, right? And I'll give you a tip. One of the things that I used to do when we wanted to get a hold of CTOs, chief technical officers in companies, is I would send each of them one of the best-selling books and write an inscription in it and send it via FedEx. And when they opened it, it would be an inscription saying, "Look, I love what you guys are doing. I love your company. I just wanted to connect with you. And I saw this book and I thought you'd really like it." And I'd put my name, my telephone number, and email there, and sort of 7 times out of 10, I would get either their PA would contact me to thank me, or I'd get a direct phone call from the CTO or the CEO, and boom, I would connect with them. Okay, using this technique. It's a pretty cool technique. Okay, so when you're using the phone to contact potential joint venture partners, only ever use the phone after you follow up after you've sent your proposal. Only use the phone for a follow up. And you should also use the phone to get your partners on the phone after they accept your proposal. So only ever use the phone, guys, to follow up or to get an appointment. Never pitch your proposal on the phone, unless obviously you know the person really well, okay? And see, the great thing with building connections and building a relationship is when you eventually talk to a person about a joint venture, it just becomes a discussion and not a proposal, okay? So that's why it's important to build these relationships. Okay, here's my take on agreements and joint venture contracts, okay? First of all, NDAs. Now, some people like to use them, and, legally it stops other people ripping off your trade secrets or IP, okay, or even your entire sales process. Now, if you're mentioning those things, then definitely, yes, use an NDA, okay? Now, joint venture contracts, only start drafting an agreement once the deal has been solidified and you have the confirmation to go ahead. Otherwise, agreements take a long time. I mean, I'm going backwards and forwards right now with a company who are looking to do a licensing deal. A company that wants to basically license all my IP, and until we have a confirmation and it's been solidified, then we'll start drafting up the agreement, and that's what we're doing right now. That's the stage we're in. So you don't want to be doing that before. You want to do it after you've had that conversation. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys now some really quick ways that you can make money from JVs, right? Things that you can do off the bat and get really creative. So number one is doing a standard online joint venture. Now, standard is you find someone with a product or a newsletter, and you contact both of them to promote, your product or bundle it with their own. Okay, it's a classic online joint venture, and this can easily be done through emailing each other's lists or via a link on their newsletter or website. So basically, a very, very simple way to get started with joint ventures. This is when people think of JVs in the internet marketing space. This is what online JVs are. Okay, I'm going to show you it goes way beyond that. Okay, licensing is my favorite. Okay, here's the thing: you can make money instantly, right, by buying or owning the rights to those things that are proven. So remember that, guys, only proven, okay? If you want to license someone's product, only license something that's proven. Because if it's already tested, guess what? You don't need to spend time and energy to prove that it would actually sell, right? And here's the thing, you can also charge people a royalty fee for the rights to your products and make money, which is what I'm doing right now with all my IP, all my joint venture material, my training. I have IP that I own, and basically I can charge now an upfront fee, a license fee, and a royalty for other people to use that. And that's something that I'm working on right now, and that's easily 6 figures, okay? One of the quickest ways to make millions, let me tell you that. Okay, distribution, I discussed it earlier. If you find a distributor that has an existing sales channel, then all you need to do is then lock down a deal with them to control that, and go out and find a good quality targeted product. So you take a cut on every sale made on both sides. This is a very, very simple deal to do. Another thing you can do is negotiate exclusivity if the product owner does not have any kind of affiliate program in place. So you can even help them do that, okay, as long as you've got those people and you've got the agreement in place. Like I've always said, control the distribution and you control the money. Product creation, this is a really cool one. You can approach people with great products that aren't electronic and offer to transcribe their product for them. That way they can also sell it as an electronic product to JV partners you find, and you can get a percentage of sales on that. Now, I've done a few of these where I've had someone approach me and we've created an electronic product, and I've gone out there and actually sold it to like resellers or to licensees, for example. And you can create easy multiple six figures with that strategy. So I hope you guys are making some notes. How are you? Give me an update in the chat box. How are you guys finding the training so far? Are there any sort of cool ideas that you've had and you've written down? I hope you guys have, because this will really help you be very successful doing joint ventures. Okay, so this is another one, upselling. Now, here's the thing, guys. Other companies, if you can show other companies how they can upsell their own products or other people's products and increase the average unit of purchase, then you are definitely in with a win. All you do is go out and find other products for them and then take a cut. Because every company needs an upsell strategy. This is such a cool thing to do. So, you know, it goes wider than just swapping lists and doing JVs to each other's lists. Okay, this is how powerful joint ventures are. And this is what I teach all my students. All my joint venture brokers go through this, and it's phenomenal. This is the best one that I've ever found. Reactivating inactive buyers. You know, there's something called customer attrition, and businesses lose about 20% of customers every year, because we're so busy looking for new customers that we forget about our existing customers. So if you can get together with other businesses and offer them your products or services to actually reactivate dormant customers for a percentage of profits. Now, how you can do this is you approach gyms, for example, and help them reactivate lost memberships by putting together a product package and sort of promoting it to their existing customers, and you get a cut on both ends. Because remember, it costs 6 times as much to get new customers, right? Now, this is one of the best ones that I've ever done on converted leads. I'll give you an example, and then I'll give you a real case study. So let's say company A gets 5,000 leads a month. They convert 15% of those leads, and that is very good, okay, sales conversion rate. But what about the other 4,250 leads that cost them money? Okay, they spent money on these leads. Well, if you get them to do an endorsed JV campaign to promote your products to their unconverted leads, then you can split the profits. Now, I'll give you a case study of how we did this. Remember, I'll just take a sip. We used to run an online training company, okay? Now, guess what? It was virtual. We didn't have a training center, but we used to get a lot of leads from people who were looking for computer training in a computer center. So what I did was I approached computer training centers and said, look, you guys must get leads that you paid for of people that want online training as opposed to classroom based. And they said yes. I said, look, let's do this. If you give us those leads, we'll convert them for you. That way you don't lose anything, because we're not using your leads that you've actually used and you need, and we can do vice versa. And we did the same thing. We gave them our unconverted leads and we took their unconverted leads. So you can actually do lead swapping in effect and do a JV that way. Very powerful. Okay, so I want to go through a few case studies with you now of existing students and people that I've trained who have gone out and done joint ventures. Now, this is Kim. I met Kim on Mike Fulsane's Marketers Cruise that he does every year. It's a great cruise. We had a brief conversation over dinner about what I do in JV brokering. She was so interested in what I did. I spent most of my time on the cruise just connecting people. So she contacted me 2 weeks after the cruise to help her raise money for medical school, because she's like, look, I've got 2 or 3 jobs. I want to go to medical school to become a doctor, and I want to do something that doesn't require me to work 2 or 3 jobs. So we had a strategy session, and I enrolled her onto one of my JV coaching programs. Also connected her with a few of my contacts. 6 weeks later, she called me up and said she'd done her first JV deal, putting together a product owner and a list owner that I actually handed over to her. The product was a $99 a month membership site, and in her first week she did 262 sales with that JV, and she'd taken 20%. So in the first week she made $5,000, and that rolled over to $20,000 in that month. Now that's pretty phenomenal, right? Now here's the thing. She went around telling everyone that she's a joint venture broker. Now, she was explaining to people that, look, I'm a joint venture broker, I do joint ventures, and she got approached by a drinks company, a vodka drinks company, high-end, who said, look, we heard you're a joint venture expert. Can you help us find some partners for our for our high end branded drinks? And she said, yeah, sure, I can. So she built some relationships. She did her first joint venture deal, and she JV'd his drinks into one of the top nightclub chains in Miami, making $35 a case with a minimum 2,000 order commitment, netting $70,000 with that one deal. Okay, which is quite phenomenal. And the funny thing is, she said to me, that why do I want to become a doctor when I can be a JV broker and earn more money? And I said, look, no, don't do that. Don't leave school. Continue doing what you want to do as a doctor, and just do JVs when you need them. And I'm happy to say now, actually, she is a qualified doctor, which is really, really cool. I see her pictures on Facebook, and we have conversations about, what she used to do, and yeah, she's a very, very successful. She's a qualified doctor now, which is really cool. Okay, JV case study number 2. This guy is this guy's blown me away. He's gone and exceeded my expectations. I spoke to him not too long ago, and he's getting involved in 6- and 7-figure deals, which is phenomenal. So Mark completed one of my JV coaching courses. I was originally looking to do a small joint venture. After he had a strategy session with me, I said, look, go all out. Just go and do a big JV. You've got nothing to lose. So he went through his own database and found a teddy bear manufacturer on his list. He then contacted one of the largest gift suppliers in the UK with a JV proposal to supply them with teddy bears, okay? Now here's the thing. The gift supplier ordered 60,000 teddy bears for the first year contract, and Mark picked up his fee of 45K, all right? Now I asked him, look, hang on a minute, what kind of teddy bears were these? Because surely they've got teddy bears. He goes, well, no. He goes, no, these were these were reggae teddy bears. So they were basically reggae themed teddy bears. So they were basically reggae themed teddy bears, which is like really quite funny. So this is another case study. One of my recent students, actually George, enrolled onto my JV broker program. After he had a strategy session with me, he decided to do something unique. He's the only guy who's done this, one of the only guys who's done this. He approached one of the US's biggest marketing experts with a proposal. He then contacted me and asked me if I was willing to promote my JV program to this experts list of 20,000 buyers. Now, in the next few months, we should do at least over 200K, even on the 1% of buyers, and George takes his 15% as his JV broker cut. Here's another case study of Dan. Dan enrolled on my JV broker program. After he had a strategy session with me, he decided to do a quick online JV. Now, a lot of my brokers also do like online sort of webinar JVs. He approached one of the US's biggest internet marketing event organizers with a JV proposal. He then contacted me and asked me if I was willing to connect him with JV partners. So he said, look, he said, I've got this agreement to promote this experts webinar. Can you help me promote it to some of your contacts? And I said, yeah, sure, I can. So in the 60-minute webinar they did, they had over $50,000 of sales, and Dan picked up 25% as his JV commission, which is really cool, and more or less paid for the whole JV brokering program, which is quite cool. Just one deal. This is my best case study. One of my best students, John, enrolled on my JV broker program actually last year, and was already involved in big real estate deals, but wanted to learn how to put together corporate JVs, okay? So he approached a software company in Ireland and managed to connect them with a major distribution company in the US. He closed the deal at $2 million for year 1. The second year is going to be over $2 million, and took 15% as his JV broker commission. Now, I always joke with him because I said, look, in terms of deal-wise, he's probably done more than I have done in a single deal. More than I have done in a single deal, but I did it quicker. I did it in 30 days, and I always joke with him about that. But here's the thing: he went on to close another deal with Microsoft for $960,000, just under $1 million. So he's done well. $3 million just 6 months after coming out of my JV brokering program. I think that's pretty cool. Here's another one. Here's for all you guys who basically can actually go and do this without any sort of material or even going through any of my programs. So Mark attended a seminar I spoke at in London and listened to my JV strategies. He then approached a speaker who was selling a $2,000 social media service package. And basically what happened was he had a client who was interested in spending $20,000 on social media. He decided to JV his client with this speaker for the $2,000 social media package. But here's the thing. He asked if she had a reseller package and then got on the phone to his client, pitched the client at $15,000 for the same social media. He pitched his client at $15,000 for the same $2,000 social media package and made a sale. How cool is that? And he's now done a JV with that same speaker to his client list. So, he literally saw me on stage for an hour and a half, and in that time when he left my presentation, he'd made over $10,000 without even signing up on my program, which was quite cheeky, but that's good. If you can go out and use my training and my training and apply it, that's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. So here's the thing. Will you be my next success story? Now, I'm looking right now for more joint venture brokers, and with the release of my new book next year, it's going to get very, very busy for me. And I'd like to build my team outwards and basically have more people doing joint ventures. Now, I just want to share something with you, if it's okay. Early 2011, I launched my first JV broker business program. And so far, 30 JV brokers have been trained worldwide. I've trained people in the US, I've trained people in UK and in Europe and the Middle East. Okay, it's been absolutely phenomenal. Now, I've got my next JV brokering business program coming up in November 2013. And if you ever want to learn about joint ventures and become very successful at brokering JVs, then you definitely need to be there. Now, what do you get as part of my JV broker business program? You get 3 days live broker training with myself, one-on-one, 12 weeks of one-to-one mentoring, okay? I hand you a JV deal worth at least 6 figures. I do that on day 3 of the Joint Venture Broker Business Program. You get my JV Brokering Home Study Kit. Also what you get is a JV Workshop license. I'll give you and I'll license you my I'll license you my joint venture business training material that you can actually go out there and actually train other business owners and make money from it. And you also get my lead generation system. Here's some testimonials from my joint venture broker business program and previous attendees. Having a real JV deal to work on was the main reason behind me signing up. I've already made back my investment. I would never be able to become this successful at brokering JVs if it wasn't for the live training and support from Sohail. Here's a testimonial from one of my recent attendees, Mary Kay Allen. And this explains exactly what you get, which is really, really cool. So there's really no sales page. It's just someone telling you exactly how it is. So Mary Kay says, Sohail's course was a 3-day immersion into JV brokering. The way Sohail presents it is excellent because he breaks it up into segments each day. The groups are small, which is nice, and it's very interactive. Sohail is so competent in this field. So Sohail is so competent in this field, I just wish I could have cloned him. He really is a master and explains everything so well. When you are finished on the 3rd day, you really feel that you can do this. I really would recommend this program because Sohail really delivers from his end. It would be up to you to take action, and he is with you every step of the way. He makes it clear that the weekly calls are a must from the beginning, and this has been great for me because it's about accountability. With other very expensive programs I have purchased, it was after the course you are sent out on your own with no personal one-on-one, unlike what Sohail offers. So guys, my next program coming up in November in Las Vegas is strictly limited to 6 places only. And it's my joint venture brokering business program, which will be in Las Vegas, November the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So you might want to write down these dates, okay? If you are available on these dates, would love to have you there. Total value of the package is well over $200,000 if you put everything together. But today only you pay $10,000. Now I have sold this program in the past for $15,000 and $20,000, but $10,000 is the standard price that I sell this program at. Okay, so that's the price of the program. But wait, okay, before you guys start thinking that it's a lot of money to pay, it is a lot of money to pay, but considering if you close one deal that's like $50,000 or $100,000, it's definitely worth the investment, okay? Whenever you invest in a program or anything in your life, always think about the return or what you can literally make from that investment. Not only just on the monetary side, but what sort of skills you can acquire from it that that will make you successful in anything you do, okay? But wait. I have a JV brokering program scholarship, okay? Now, I'm offering for the very first time a JV brokering program part scholarship of $5,000 towards the full cost of the program. See, the thing is, I meet so many of you guys who have so many skills and talents, and I know that $10,000 is out of the range of some people. But I want to give everyone an opportunity, okay? And I want to find some really good people out there, and I know there's some great people who can be very successful at this. So to apply and see if you qualify for a JV scholarship, please use the link below. If you're really interested in this program, it's in November 22nd, 23rd, 24th in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a great place, and I've got loads of great friends out there, and we'll do some really cool things over the 3 days as well. Go to that link, www.mybrokeringbussiness.com/scholarship application. Right? Now, if you're really interested in the scholarship and the program, definitely go to that link. Now, what I'd like to do right now is just, have a Q&A. Someone's asked about the next UK dates. Right now, we're not sure on dates. Reason being is we've got the book being launched in the new year, and we're going to be adding another day to the 3-day program. We're going to be adding another day to the 3-day program, and the price will go up from $10,000 to $15,000 next year. We're going to be sort of making the program, and those people already on the existing program will get all the extra material, so don't worry about that. So guys, if you're interested, check out that link. It's free to apply, and I'd love to get on a call with you guys and see if I can really help you out on the program. Barry's asked, is there an online version? Barry, I have a home study version. I don't have an online version because it's so much material. If anyone's interested in the home study version, definitely you can drop me an email. I'll just put my email in the chat box. The JV broker @gmail.com. Okay, so yeah, you can email me on the JV. You can email me on the jvbroker@gmail.com if anyone's interested in the home study version that I have. But apart from that, no. If you are interested in joining me I only have 6 spots. I don't make it a big program because you get one-to-one contact with me and you get all the training as well. So guys, if you've got all of you are still on the line. Thank you very much for that, and you will all get a copy of the joint venture checklist PDF. I'll make sure you all get a copy of that. Thank you very much for your feedback. Thank you very much for the thank yous for the webinar. It looks like you guys really loved it. Guys, it's your opportunity now to ask me any questions you want about joint ventures, about the program, and basically just fire away. If you've got any questions you want to ask me, then I'm here to serve, and I'm here to help you guys. I know it is Halloween today, and I know a lot of you want to probably get off. So you guys are welcome to go. All of those guys who need to go, you're welcome to go. You're welcome to go. You will get the PDF. Yes, Gerald, you will get the joint venture checklist PDF as promised. So guys, if you've got any questions for me, please put them in the chat box. Any questions about what I've talked about today, how joint ventures might help you in your existing business, what you're currently doing, even questions about the joint venture brokering program. There is a scholarship up for grabs. Just fill in the form below with that link, and we can get on a call and talk more about that. But yes. Andrew. I'm really interested in this. Hi, Sohail. I'm really interested in the scholarship. I've just filled in the form on your site. Andrew, thank you very much for that, and I'll get one of my assistants to organize that call for us. Thank you. Right. Barry's asked, I've done some joint ventures before, and I've always had a problem with the other side fulfilling on the deal. Okay, that's something that you need to on the offset when you're going into a joint venture, okay, and you're looking at joint venture partners. You've got to do your due diligence, and something that I teach a lot of my brokers or even a lot of my clients is we have a subset of questions that you've got to ask, and those questions have to be answered. And also at the same time, there has to be a commitment. You know, as a broker, I charge a retainer, an upfront fee. The reason I do that is because any joint venture partners that I deal with, I make sure that there's a commitment and they have basically what I discussed before, skin in the game. So you've got to make sure that everyone is accountable and everyone has an accountability when they're doing joint ventures. Okay, let's see if there's any more questions. Jonathan, hi Sohail. I've really been wanting to get onto your program for quite a while now, and the scholarship would really help me. What does an individual person need to qualify for the scholarship? Jonathan, to be honest with you, it's having a discussion on the call first. If you fill that form in below, the link and the form, and then get on a call with me, I'll be able to tell you on the call and give you more of an idea in terms of what I'm looking for also at the same time. So thank you for that. Stuart, if you have to use email as your first contact, can you suggest any subject lines? Yeah, Stuart, the one that I use is I normally use something like simple, a simple like, RE colon joint venture proposal, or one of the opening lines I'll have in an email is, I have a client who's interested in doing business with you, and then what I put in there is, if you like to find out more about the client, could you please reply to my email and let me know? Could you please reply to my email and let you know if you are into creating a partnership, or do you actually do partnerships? So I do that because what you have to do is you have to get the other side to put their hand up, and you have to get communication and dialogue first. You can't just fire out a proposal and things like that. You don't tell them what the proposal is. Just give them an indication and let them chew on it, or let them bite. It's like a hook, basically. You've got to send something out and let someone at least hook onto that and reply to you and say, Stuart, you know what? We are interested. Tell me more about this joint venture. Okay? So it's got to be a two-step process if you want to really, really get. And this is how people pay me. Why people pay me to reach out to like CEOs and really big companies and corporations, because of the processes that I use to really get hold of people. Okay, any more questions, guys? You can ask me some more questions if you like on topic of joint ventures, or anything to do with the upcoming program. You're still all here, so there's still about 80% of you on the call. So any questions, guys, you can ask me. This is a good opportunity to ask me questions. Thanks, Stuart. No, thanks for that. And let me know how you get on, Stuart. If you're on my, if you have me as a friend on Facebook, or you got my email address there, just give me a shout. Let me know how you get on, and I'm here to help people as well. So as long as you go out and do this, if you go out and do this and actually make money from it, or go out and try some JVs, then I'll try and help wherever I can. Okay, Mary, what's that question? Hi, Sohail. I'm really interested in closing more local joint ventures with companies where I'm based here in Boston. Okay. Now, how do I go about closing or even contacting local companies when I'm literally unknown? Okay, so Mary, remember when I first started doing my JVs, I was like you know, I was like you. I mean, I'm pretty well known right now, but I was at a stage where I was virtually unknown. I think you have to create that interest when you're contacting companies. And one of the things you can try is like what I used to do, and that was, you know, contacting companies and just saying, look, you know, if I can help you create an additional revenue or profit stream or show you how to do that without increasing your overheads, would you be interested? Okay. Two ways you can do JVs. One is you can do JVs on a performance basis, which means that there's no risk to the client or to the company, and you make your money on the performance. So whatever the deal solidifies, whatever you make from the deal, you pick up a commission, which is what some of my brokers do. Other brokers that I have operate in different niche industries. They will charge a fee up front. Now, I normally charge between $20,000 and $40,000 up front, and people pay that. Why? Because I put a lot of work and effort into what I do, and I have a good success fee as well. But I tend to do that because I only work with a limited number of clients a year. So I make sure that the clients I work with are the clients I want to work with, and I make sure also that, you know, they have skin in the game as well. So that's quite important. I hope that answered your question. Okay, any more questions, guys, before we wrap up the webinar? Still a lot of you on here. Still a lot of you on here. A lot of you. Any more questions at all about joint ventures? Any questions about the program? Well, like I say, guys, if you want to get on a call with me and talk more about the program, hit that link below, www.mybrokerinbusiness.com www.mybrokerinbusiness.com/scholarship application. Guys, I hope the webinar was really good. I know we've had some problems with the internet, but I've tried to just not speak when there's an interference and just jump back on. So I hope you got information. If you could just let me know in the chat box that you did receive all the information and you did actually enjoy the webinar. And I know there's a lot of you actually guys saying that. It'd be great if you guys can go on Facebook as well, or LinkedIn or Twitter and just let people know that you really enjoyed the webinar. That would really, really help. And it'd be really, really great. Okay, guys, I think that's it. Have a happy Halloween wherever you guys are in the world, and you know, enjoy yourselves, be safe. And yeah, like I say, I would love to get on a call with you guys if you hit that link below. And if I can, oh, what's that? If I can help you guys out, Barry Duddy says that's all. Barry Duddy. I like the name Barry. Yeah, thanks, Barry. Barry, here's the thing, guys. Okay, as long as you go out and apply this, okay, please go out and apply it. If you don't end up coming to any of my programs or whatever, don't lose contact. Please go out and do this. Okay, I just want to hear you guys that, you know, if you go out and do this, then, you know, I would really appreciate that. And for those of you guys who actually do go out and do this, let me know about your success stories, because, you know, I hear so many people that they watch my training or they see me on stage and they go and do it and they get results. I'd love to be able to document those, like, you know, like Jay does, like Jay Abraham does. I mean, he's got what, 100, is it 15,000 or 150,000 success stories? I think it's 15,000. Something that's crazy, and that's great. Okay, Derek, in direct sale, home improvement, and solar, any ideas? Very easy, Derek. You know, it's all about a vertical. Okay, so Derek, if you're in the home improvement vertical, then basically you should form a like a local meetup or a local joint venture group. You should form a local joint venture group and basically be the facilitator. You know, come on my program, take some of the training, go and find the free training on YouTube, become a broker and get these guys together and do JVs between them and take a cut. That's what I would definitely recommend you do. Stuart, yes, there will be a recording. We're recording this webinar right now, and the recording will go out, and the link will go out to everyone who's registered. So if you're watching the recording right now, great to have you here, and please let me know what you thought of the webinar, and it'd be great to actually get on the phone with you as well. And definitely hit the link that link below, www.mybrokerinbusiness.com/scholarship application. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I think we're done. I think it's been pretty good. I love doing these webinars, especially on the joint venture stuff. It really gets me excited, and I really like your comments. And you know, I really thank you for the feedback, the massive feedback, and you know, you guys are still here. That's great. Thanks. Would love to do it. Just the 10. Well, Derek, it's not 10K. If you get the scholarship, it'll be 5K. So with the scholarship, if you qualify for the scholarship, the program will be 5K. And guys, I also do a payment plan as well. So if you want to talk about the program, just fill in the form, get on a call, and I'll see how I can accommodate you guys. It's a great program. I've been running it now for the last 2 or 3 years, and next year we're going to really ramp it up and make it a phenomenal program with the help of all the stuff I'm doing with Guerrilla Marketing as well. So yeah, thanks, Andrew. I do. We haven't got the greatest internet here. It's just phenomenal, isn't it? I mean, we're not in a third world country, but still, internet is just still a problem. Yeah, happy Halloween to you as well. Have a great one. I have access to a rap star. Any suggestions? Oh, very easily. Depends what he's already done. Have a look and see what assets he has. Does he own his own IP? Does he own the rights to his songs? Does he have YouTube videos that can be leveraged? Is he someone that you can joint venture with a fashion firm, clothing firm, to produce something? Recently, what's his name? Kanye. He did. I think it was something crazy, like a white T-shirt, just a plain white T-shirt with a fashion company, and it was crazy. I think it was $150 for the T-shirt, and he JV'd with a fashion company who basically just took this T-shirt, put his name to it, and no logos, nothing, and they sold out. They must have sold out at least 1,000 T-shirts at $150 a pop. It's crazy, isn't it? But that's a JV, and yeah, you can do stuff like that, so it's pretty cool. Thanks, Sohail. Aussie is lovely and sunny and warm. Come on. Actually, Kerry, something I didn't mention is that I'm probably relocating in the next. I'm probably relocating the next couple of weeks to somewhere really sunny. I won't mention it right now. I'll probably already mentioned it before, but that's the power of joint ventures. It allows you to work anywhere in the world. But Australia is definitely a place I want to come. I have been invited there to speak a few times. And I will definitely think about it. I'll definitely think about it because it's on my list of places to go. Oh, this is great. This is you guys are really cool, and you're all still here. Crazy. Okay, guys, I think that's it then. If we're finished, if no more questions for me, guys, think about it. I charge like $20,000-$30,000 for a day's consulting. So if you wanted to ask me questions, now's the time to ask me, and it won't cost you a penny. Okay. All right. I think we're gonna. Thank you for your comments. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Someone just said, "Sel, you know what? Stick to JVs. You're really good at joint ventures." That's what I do, and I think that's all I do. So that's pretty cool. Andrea, real estate company markets supplements and skincare. Real estate hang on, real estate. Oh, okay, two. In the real estate market, in the real estate space, there's loads of JVs you can do. Most of them are done via raising finance for JVs. A company that markets supplements and skincare, yes, depending on what the skincare and supplements are, you'd probably look at teaming up with bloggers probably who can promote some of those products. It's something that I've done in the past, but yeah, look at the blogging community for that. Try and JV with them. Supplements is huge. It's so huge right now, and a lot of companies making millions selling supplements. So supplements require a lot of things. But you know what? Find the distribution. Find where the people are. The buyers, where the buyers hang out. Okay, I think we're done. Stuart said, Sohail, great webinar. Enough information overload. No, that's it, guys. I think we're ready to go now because I think I would like to let you guys go and enjoy your Halloween. Um, looking at the time over there, guys. Thank you very much. It's been great. I think we've just hit our time limit now. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure. Look, have a great 2014. Whatever you're doing, keep in touch with me. Watch my videos on YouTube. And have a great one. And if you guys want to come on the program in November in Las Vegas, or you know what, even if you're considering doing the program anywhere else, just you're welcome to get on a call with me anyway, and we'll discuss that. Have a great one, guys, and thank you very much. Just go to the link below, www.mybrokeringbusiness.com, mybrokeringbusiness.com/scholarship application. Guys, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Take care. Bye-bye.